going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome everybody here to our Week 3 high school football preview show of the Friday Night Lights. AJ Good here with Michael Marks. And Mike, it's hard to believe we're already into week number 3 of the high school football season, but we got some really good matchups here tonight.
Yeah, I know it feels like we've really just got started, and I mean we kind of did, but at this point with kind of how many high school football games you play in a season, we're almost a third of the way done with the season.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But we got some big ones. We're going to start off with the first one, which is right across the way here, Hendrick Stack Stadium, the Battle of the Cowbell. I believe this is either matchup number 60 or 61. I can't remember which one it is. Giles County has the all-time edge on Lawrence County, but Mike, this feels like a different Lawrence County team coming in than what we've had in years past against Giles County. Giles County is a little different, more built on muscle and power, trying to run the ball down your throat. They can still score. They do have a pretty decent quarterback, but this Lawrence County team is different in a lot of ways than what we've seen in years past.
Yeah, and a lot of it's the mentality side of things. I mean, that's half the game is showing up, but I mean their offense has looked unstoppable. Their defense has been stout too, and like you said with Giles County over the past 3 or 4 years ago, they were a lot of speed, and that's kind of what they built their team on. And now, some of those players have moved on, and they've kind of had to re-identify themselves as more of a ground and pound team. But I mean, that's kind of what we've seen from Summertown and Loretto. So a little more of the same, so to speak, when planning for Lawrence County this week.
A year ago, these two met up on the Thursday night. Lawrence County. If you ask him there is no game film, but that's another story for another day. It really came down to the wire. Lawrence County had every opportunity, dropped the potential touchdown, dropped the for sure interception in the end zone that would have thwarted a Giles County drive. They had their opportunities. I know that they're probably thinking about that game going into tonight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've seen revenge on the mind of Lawrence County almost all season. Obviously, they dropped the one to Summertown to open the season. Yeah. They got that back. They had a close game against Loretto, kind of an upset win over Loretto last year, and they just kind of kept building on that. And, with a 5-point loss to Giles County last year, I mean, it's only looking up for Lawrence County.
Yeah, so we had a chance to speak with head coach Garrick Barnett in his first full season, 2-0 start to the year. Here's what he had to say going into week number 3 against their hated rivals from Pulaski.
Well, Coach, good win there on Friday night. Just what did you like out of your team against Loretto?
Yeah, I think, when good things start happening, we talk a lot about football being an emotional game and ups and downs and all that good stuff. And, we got on that high and we was able to maintain something that I'm proud of, and I'm proud of our guys. Our younger guys come in and we kept rolling. Now we had some setbacks, we made some mistakes, and but our older guys were cheering on those guys, and you look down there and they look like they're having just as good a time as if they're out there scoring themselves. That's a special thing, and that's kind of what we saw for the most part. It's hard when you get in games like those. It's hard for anybody to stay interested. That's the reason people a lot of times leave it halfway through or whatever, and so for our guys to be able to stay in it. And there's a couple times I looked over and some of our older guys were coaching them up as they were coming off the sideline. And so those are the types of things that makes teams special, and that's just the way we felt. In hindsight, looking back and thinking about some of those things that happened, we still made some mistakes. We still got some things to clean up.
It was a great time out there. We had a great time with all our boys. We went out there, we played hard, played physical. Definitely some things we can work on out there. But, for the most part, we went out there, took care of business, and that was what was most important to me.
County champs, 2-0 in dominant fashion for you guys against Summertown and Loretto.
Yes, sir. It feels amazing. Since I've started on varsity, I've never had that opportunity before. We've lost to Loretto my sophomore year, and then we lost to Summertown last year. So having both of those wins under our belt this year, I feel like it's a big game changer for us. I feel like we have a lot of momentum coming into this next game, and I feel like we have the potential to be one of the best teams Lawrence County's ever had.
Giles County, you mentioned it, big rivalry, and they're coming in feeling pretty good. You guys are coming in pretty good, and big rivalry on the store here on Friday.
Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to it. They're a good football team. They played hard, play fast, play physical, and I'm looking forward to every aspect of that. I think that we just got to go out there, do what we do, play our game, play physical, play fast, play mental. Got to be smart out there on that field, and I feel like if we do all those things, we can win that game.
Obviously, Giles County's coming in this week, and we expect a big crowd, expect chaos, expect cowbells, expect all that good stuff. But they also bring a pretty good football team, and so they're well coached. They work their tails off over there, just like our guys. And so we look forward to the challenge. We're expecting a great one, but welcome it with arms wide open. So
What do you want to see out of your guys here on Friday night?
I think something they want to be the most physical team. We like to think we were going to be the most physical team. I think the line of scrimmage, we talk about that a lot, but winning the line of scrimmage, winning one-on-ones up front, and being able to get off blocks and make tackles, and being able to, they're going to get in a lot of different formations. They do a good job mixing formations up, and they're pretty. They're not crazy as far as their pass complex, pass schemes, and all that kind of stuff, but they're good at what they do, and so it's going to be a good challenge for us. Hopefully we got a wrinkle here too for them. We'll see. We look forward to it.
So, Mike, taking a look at this game, what do you think the keys to the game, keys to victory for both sides tonight?
I think it's just going to be Lawrence County trying to keep continuing on working on playing a full game. They had some struggles in the first half against Summertown. We saw them come out lights out, on Loretto in the first half. If they can put together a full 4 quarters against Giles County, I think they'll have no problem bringing the cowbell back.
I think it's going to have to be one up front. I mean, Giles County is going to want to play physical. Lawrence County is probably going to want to answer it, but they still want to use that speed, that talent. Having a lot of people saying to me this week they think it's the best LCHS team they've seen in decades.
And it feels that way, just kind of the rumble about this team. I mean, they've come in and really showed their 2 in-county rivals kind of what's up this season, and now, taking it outside the county, I'm interested to see if they can keep it up. Yeah,
if they can win this game tonight, and it's going to be a tall task because Giles County is good. They've been good for a while, and this is a good mountain. They can get over this mountain. You got to start thinking to yourself, okay,
this could be a big season.
This could be a big season.
Yep.
We'll see how they handle it tonight. Coming up next, head on over to Class 2A. We're going to check in with Loretto, Summertown, and Mount Pleasant.
Shop McMaster's Home Gallery for furniture, appliances, and more. And shop quality, shop convenience, shop service, shop local. A family-owned business with a long history of serving the region. We're a one-stop home furnishings destination. We feature brands competitively priced, backed by professional installation and service. You can trust that we'll take good care of you before and after the sale. For your home, shop smart. Shop McMaster's Home Gallery today.
Being raised in Tennessee, we believe in the importance of family and community. Creating a positive experience at our family-owned and operated business is one of the ways we share that belief.
Being in an accident can be extremely stressful. When it came time for my repairs, Mashburn's made it easy.
I am lucky to have a wonderful company in my community like Mashburn's Collision Center. It's reassuring to know that I'm in good hands because their work is second to none.
We pride ourselves that the Mashburn name is one of the most trusted in Lawrence County since 1981. Mashburn's Collision Center. Let our family take care of yours.
Why should you bank with Employee Resources Credit Union? We offer a wealth of services, including mobile banking, video banking, bill pay, and more. We also offer loan rates that are lower than those of our competitors. Employee Resources Credit Union has been a financial pillar since 1964, providing long-time support to members of the community. Join us and become part of the ERCU commitment. Not for profit, for service.
Are you looking for a non-factory job environment? Livingstone Freight Solutions is a 3PL company that began managing warehouses in Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi. With our multiple shifts and experienced management team, our goal is to give you, as an employee, a safe family work environment and competitive wages. We offer a wide variety of employment opportunities from forklift drivers to management level positions. We also strive to offer a competitive benefit package and PTO options. For more information or to apply, visit us at livingstonefs.com or give us a call at 931-269-3255.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome back to our Week 3 high school football preview show. Now heading over to Class 2A. Mike, we're going to start with the game that you're calling tonight. We got a region game as Lewis County and Loretto They've had some good ones.
Oh, yeah.
Really good games over the past few years. And but both of these teams kind of feels different coming into week number 3 for both teams here tonight.
Yeah, 2025, it's a whole new season. Last year, Loretto and Lewis County put up about 100 points. I think it was slightly over that, 61-44. Don't think we're going to see that tonight. These two teams have much different identities this year. Lewis County's kind of getting back the ways they have been. Obviously off to a good start, 2-0 this year, and Loretto kind of the opposite, 0-2, and they've shown some good signs. It's more of trying to prolong those good signs and to make them turn into a good drive or a good half, a good quarter, and I think we're just going to continue to see this team grow, and with a good contest like a team like Lewis County coming in, with a chance to build onto a 3-game win streak, that would be huge.
Yeah, for them and for Bryce Glass and company.
Yeah.
Looking for that first win of the year, his first win as a head coach. You look at it, they've played 2 really good teams. Cornersville is better than what most people expected. Lawrence County's better than what most people expected. These are 2 really good. They faced 2 buzzsaws right off the get-go.
Yep.
This could be a good chance for this very young team to get back on track.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're young. I mean, it's a lot of kids that were playing middle school ball last year or JV the year before, and now they get shoved into the fire because, as what I was talking about with some people the other day, is this Loretto team didn't just lose some seniors. They lost some other guys below that, and it, kind of gutted the team. And, props to Bryce Glass and that entire coaching staff for getting them back on the field. And, they look competitive. Last week may not have looked good on the scoreboard, but you can tell if you're at the game that those kids are going out there and they're working their tails off.
If you're going to learn a lesson, a butt whipping's a good way to learn a lesson, and if you can turn that around here in the week number 3, it could be big.
Yeah, and these are some tough kids. I know they're not going to be too down over last week because obviously they haven't played a region game yet.
Right.
An entire new season starts tonight, and it'd be a good thing to start 1-0 in that season.
Let's hear what Bryce Glass and company have to say going into week number 3.
So I know week 2 didn't exactly go the way you guys wanted, but what kind of positives you take out of week 2?
Man, we got a lot of young guys, a lot of playing experience. That's what we were talking about on film on Sunday, that at one point in the game we had 3 freshmen and 5 sophomores playing defense. The future's an awesome thing. Right now it sucks, obviously, but the future's a good thing, looking bright. So we just got to keep plugging.
We just really found out that we need to be a lot more physical up front and with our DBs. Just kind of change our whole mindset throughout the whole game.
Obviously, when you play a team like that, it is a good preparation, especially with region play coming up this winter.
Oh, absolutely. Lawrenceburg's solid as they get. I mean, they're, like I told you in the pregame, from front to back, they're solid. They're a really good football team.
I know the first couple of weeks have been tough. How's the team doing, and how are you guys keeping together during this?
Well, we're just going after practice every day, trying to have a better mindset each and every play. Trying to attack the ball a lot faster, be more physical.
Lewis County, what have you seen out of them, and what do you guys expect here on Friday?
Well, they have a good physical team, as they always do, but I believe that we're going to be ready for them this week. I truly do believe that, and I believe in my team that we know what's going to happen.
Yeah, they're solid. Running back's a really good player, well coached. I mean, they're a tough opponent. They don't get, like I said, they don't get any easier.
I know you've played them a lot. You guys have had some really good, really close games with them, and it's formed a pretty decent rivalry here.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, good football tends to do that. So we've been fortunate in the last few years to have really good ball games with them. So we look forward to it.
Well, we always have had our history with them, and we've always had a good game against them as well. But overall, like I said, we are ready, and this game is going to be like any other game throughout the year. Just going to be hard.
Being back at home, I know you got a good stretch here to start the season in your home ballpark. How good has that been for your team?
It's been good for us because the schedule's been consistent. Especially with a young team like we have. Getting consistency, whether that's practice games, whatever, has been good for us early.
Finally, what do you want to see out of your team here on Friday?
We just got to keep competing. We got to get healthy. We got some guys beat up and banged up. We got to get a little healthy and just keep plugging, keep working like we have been.
I'm ready to see us fly to the ball, be real physical, keep our heads down and hit low, but really overall just be physical.
Mike, keys to the game here tonight for the Mustangs against Lewis County.
Got to limit the turnovers. That has been kind of the start of the downfall last week, and it finished the game off 2 Fridays ago against Cornersville. You can't lose the ball. You got to keep it in your possession as much as you can, allow you to kind of control that clock and keep the score something that you would like to see contained. against a Lewis County team that's got a lot more speed than we've seen recently. So, yeah, it's just going to, for me, it's just limit the turnovers. If you can keep the ball in your control, then, the game's yours.
All right, now over to Summertown. They're back at home in the new ballpark. Good win last week. Last-second field goal from Bradley Hoffman. Help them beat a very good Wayne County team, but different challenge in Cascade comes tonight.
Yeah, Cascade 2-0 on the year and some big wins. They beat a very good Moore County team last week, 17-10, and opened the season up with a 41-6 victory over what was that, Cheatham County. Yeah. So Summertown's got their work cut out for them this week. But I mean, obviously, I think we kind of maybe underestimated them last week going into that Wayne County game. So they're perfect at this new field, and maybe they'll try to continue that into tonight. But they do have a big challenge with Cascade coming in,
and they gotta do what they do best: play defense, limit their own mistakes, and play ball control. And I think that's been the formula that's worked for them.
Yeah, and it looks like that this Cascade team's tried to get up and down the field as much as they can. If Summertown can keep the ball and limit that, it will be close to the end.
Had a chance to visit with the Eagles earlier this week. Here's what they have to say going into week number 3.
Coach got a good win this past week and broke in the new ballpark in a good way.
All wins are good, and it was a good win. We would like to have played better, but it was a great night for Summertown. Great crowd. Community support was awesome. Everybody excited about the new place. More importantly, somebody said the win was icing on the cake. I said, no, the win was the cake.
Felt great. Loved kicking that game-winning field goal. It was a surreal moment.
Yeah, let's talk about that, man. How special was it? The fate of the team here in their first game here relied on your right foot.
Yeah, not gonna lie, there's a lot of pressure, but I just had to go back to the fundamentals and get relaxed and then hit it in there.
For you guys, now you get a lot of games here. You got a pretty good homestand coming up here. It started the other night, but it's going to continue on.
Yeah, it's an odd schedule. Don't necessarily like it, don't necessarily love it, but it is what it is. So we're going to embrace it, and we're going to take it on. Cascade this week's a good football team. They're a 3A team who's much improved, have 2 good wins under their belt, so another big test.
Like you mentioned, Cascade, a good team, and traditionally been pretty good, and pretty good team coming in here.
Yeah, no doubt. They've got some history. They've had some good years. They've had some down years, but new coach, I think last year maybe, and seem to have things going in their direction this year. So good test for us. Non-region games, we like playing good people and get you ready for the region, and this is another one that'll be a good test.
Yeah, Cascade is a physical team, and it's going to take a lot of willpower to beat them. Just like Wayne County, we got to come in hard and strong.
It's been a tough schedule to start off with Lawrence County, then Lawrence County, and then Wayne County, and then you get Cascade here, and certainly giving you guys plenty of tests before you go into the region slate.
That's right. Yeah, I know there's a lot of philosophies about scheduling games, and you want crowds and you want local, and there's a lot of pieces to it, but you want good competition too, and we're certainly getting that. And like you said, all leads up to the region play, which starts here in another week or 2, and so we feel like our guys have seen a lot of good football teams, and hopefully we'll be prepared when we start region.
Yeah, I like playing the better teams first, because then we got higher expectations.
What do you want to see out of your team here on Friday night?
Get better. I mean, that's the deal every week. I was just reading an article today for all the old-timers that remember Chuck Noll with the Steelers, and only coach in history to win 2 back-to-backs. And, one of his Super Bowl speeches was, let's go get better and have fun. And really, that's it. You want to see, especially early in the year, you want to see guys getting better. And I thought we made some strides the other night, but we still got a lot of things to clean up. So we want to get better. That's the bottom line.
All right, Mike, keys to the game here for Summertown tonight against Cascade.
Just play their game. I mean, they've done an excellent job controlling the clock all season. Obviously, we kind of saw attrition play a factor in week 1 in that loss to Lawrence County, but they had the lead at halftime. Yeah. We're down by 1 against Wayne County going into the halftime, but they controlled the tempo, and the only 3 points in the second half were all 3 that they needed.
Yeah. Got Mount Pleasant coming up next here. Mount Pleasant, also same region as Summertown and Loretto. They're out of region play, but Got a really good Forest team who might have the best running back in Class 2A that they got to face off with.
Yeah,
tonight.
Forest is always dangerous. They're always good at running the ball, and you know Forest looks good too. You got 2-2-0 teams. You know Mount Pleasant hasn't faced the toughest of competition yet. You know outscoring their opponents 90-0, but you know it's a good test. You go on the road and you're facing a very good Forest team that you know has put it on a couple of good teams themselves with Creekwood and Huntland.
Yeah, so you know, the good thing about Mount Pleasant, yeah, they faced two teams that are in their first year of varsity football, but it's not like they went out there and took them for granted. They didn't do that at all.
No.
They put their foot on the pedal and never took it off.
Yeah, you don't give up 0 points on accident. That is a defense that is working hard and putting up, you know, any points at all. It takes some talent. So, you know, this isn't saying that they haven't played anybody yet, but, you know, they'll definitely have a good test tonight with Forest.
Yeah. If they win this game tonight. It's just like we're talking about with Florence County. They win this game tonight. It's like,
It could be an interesting fall in Mount Pleasant.
Absolutely. Let's hear what the Tigers have to say going into week number 3.
Well, Kit got a good win here in week number 2. Guys off the 2-0 start here.
Yeah, you know, it was a fun night, you know, Thursday night, first home game. We had a great crowd, had a lot going on with middle school the game before and teacher appreciation, if you saw being a level 5 school and all that. So there's a lot going on. It was a fun night, and we played well and was able to get the win.
The energy, the intensity we're bringing to this practice today it's a feeling I never felt before. I love it. We're out here having a good time.
You had 2 games like that against 2 teams, you know, experiencing varsity football for the first time. But, you know, your team kind of come out strong both games and didn't let anything kind of get them down.
Yeah, you know, I don't, you know, you can only control what you control, and, you know, that's to show up and handle your business. You know, there's a lot we don't know about us. We try to find the mistakes, you know, ourselves that we can correct, try to get out in front of them. There's a lot we don't know about us right now, and we got a huge test finally coming up this week.
Just to know not to get a big head, you know, just to know that there's better competition out there. We got a bigger season coming, so focus on the future, not the past.
Like you mentioned, you got Forest coming up, got to go on the road, and potentially a pretty good matchup, and they've always been a really good team throughout the years.
Yeah, you know, great 3A school program, great tradition. They're off to a 2-0 start. I think they probably have the leading rusher in the state right now. They're really balanced on offense, and you know, coaches up there do a great job of getting them ready. You know, on the road as well. So it should be a great environment.
They got a good backfield. You know, we're bringing the intensity. We're going to bring it to where it's going to be a good game.
It's a good test for you guys, knowing like your region play is right around the corner for you.
Yeah, you know, I think it'll show us where we're at. You know where we need to get to. We feel like they may be, you know, similar to a lot of teams that we play in our region. You know, and being up the road, it's just a big non-district game to try to, you know, figure all these things out before region play.
Do you want to see how your team on Friday night?
You know, we've got, you know, to continue to run the ball well on offense and spread it around to our athletes in space. You know, no turnovers. You know, we had 2 fumbles last week that you can't beat really good teams when you have that. Defensively, we obviously have a huge test with Quincy Mitchell at running back, you know, running for 300 yards a game or whatever it is now. So we got to get lined up and swarm to the ball and gain tackle and limit those big plays.
I just want to see a brotherhood, us getting together, us getting along, and us come off the dub.
So, Mike, here, one of the keys to the game here for the Tigers to defeat the Rockets in week number 3.
Well, it's kind of continue what they've done in week 1 and week 2. Play stout defense and get your skill position guys the ball on the outside on offense and let them make the plays for you.
Absolutely. Well, coming up next, we're going to check in with Class A as we take a look at Collinwood, Wayne County, and Richland going into week number 3.
The Summit of Lawrenceburg is the premier senior and assisted living community in the region. The Summit makes it home for you or your loved one with diverse suites that welcome and encourage community, plus gathering spaces, neighborhoods, daily activities, and a wonderful staff that supports you every day.
Hi, I'm Tara Blue. I'm the new director of the Summit, and we would like to invite you and your family to come and tour our facility. We would love to see you here.
Flooring sets the tone throughout your home.
For flooring that makes the right first impression, start by choosing us, Floored by Justin.
A one-stop flooring destination. Our new location stands alone for unequaled customer service and selection. Owner Justin Story's mastery of custom hardwood inlays means every room can have a custom look. Discover how the right choice of hardwood, laminate, carpet, or tile can set the tone in your home. Contact Floored by Justin today.
For decades, First Class Charter has provided high-quality motor coach transportation services to the Tennessee Valley. With numerous safety and cleanliness accreditations, First Class Charter is ready to make your group trip a reality. Contact us today by visiting firstclasscharter.net. First Class Charter, the official motor coach company of the North Alabama Lions.
Comprehensive care with a compassionate touch. That will always be the guarantee at Encompass Healthcare in Etheridge, Tennessee. Whether you're looking for primary or urgent care, x-ray services, or weight loss treatments, the team at Encompass is equipped to serve your needs today. The doors are open Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5 and from 8 to noon on Fridays. Make an appointment with providers Kendra Brown, Tori Cox, or Ellie Brown today. That's Encompass Healthcare, located on Highway 43 North in Etheridge, next door to Chapman Tire.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome back to the Week 3 High School Football Preview Show. We head on down the Class Single A. Mike, all three of our Single A teams in action. Starting first with Richland. Had a good win last week against the 4A Spring Hill team. Came away with a convincing victory after dropping a heartbreaker at Wayne County the week before. And another home game and a tough White House Heritage team coming in for the Raiders tonight.
Yeah, coming in White House 2-0 with two good wins over Greenbrier and Kenwood. And, I like how Richland's, kind of not necessarily throwing them into the fire, but giving their young quarterback some good tests as they get ready for region play. Wayne County obviously dropped a heartbreaker in that one, but it was a close game, and you showed some fight. This week, this past week, you get a 4A school to come over, come down the road and face you, and you get the win. So, that builds a lot of confidence for your team going forward. I believe White House Heritage is 3A. So another bigger opponent coming in, and one that's had success early on the season. So I think it's a great test for Richland as they look forward to region play down the line.
38 points last week after 14, but they moved the ball well against Wayne County, just didn't put up enough points on the board. And if they can get their young freshman quarterback, who looks really good, and they got a lot of weapons around them, Richland's done a really good job building that program. This could be another statement win, especially knowing how good your region is. You need all the momentum you can going into that league.
Yeah, and with you being a 1A school, going, it's not going on the road, but hosting a 4A and a 3A school in back-to-back weeks and picking up 2 wins over those, with that possibility of leading into region play, I mean, that's a huge confidence boost for your team because, if you can beat a 3 and 4A school, why can't you run the table in your region?
Wayne County got McNairy Central tonight, and this is a team looking to bounce back after a heartbreaking loss at Summertown last week.
Yeah, you get a week 1 victory in kind of surprising fashion, 16-14, but then you drop one.
Surprising fashion.
Yeah, it's 16-14. But they traveled out to Selmer to face a very good McNairy Central team who's had a bit of a tough stretch coming into the season, facing some good teams. Like Belmont out of Mississippi is always very good. But it's a good challenge for Wayne County to try to get back on the right track after dropping that game to Summertown this past week.
And they need to do what they do best: play power football, let their athletes do what they do, control the game up front. If Wayne County can do that, that's a pretty hard team to beat.
Yeah, it'll be a good sign looking to get back on the win column and get back above 500.
Yeah, Collinwood is looking for their first win of 2025. They got Scotts Hill tonight. I know the Mount Pleasants, the Lorettos, and the Summertowns of the world are going to see how Scotts Hill stacks up against Collinwood, but for the Trojans, they just need something to go right. It's they've scored 6 points in 2 games so far this year. Both the teams they play, pretty decent teams. Cornersville's proven to be, like we've said before, proven to be a little bit better than what we expected, and this team just needs something. They need something positive for them.
Yeah, 8 points in week 1, none in week 2. So only averaging 4 points a game. But Scotts Hill is a team that's on a similar path that has had a tough time in the early going, and only 6 points through their 2 games. So pretty much in this one, it's which team's offense is going to be able to get going first and put some points up on the board. But yeah, I think everyone around here is definitely going to want to keep their eye on that one. Obviously, with Scotts Hill being in Summertown and Mount Pleasant and Loretto's region, and Collinwood being a team that those guys usually play every year.
Absolutely, and they just need to do like we said with Wayne County. They just need to learn to control the line of scrimmage. Not shoot themselves in the foot, because you can look at a 31-0 score and go, "Oh, they got dominated." But if you're moving the ball, but you turn the ball over and you keep handing it over to the other team with a short field, that score can go from 6-0, 8-0, 14-0 to 31-0 before you know it.
Yeah, exactly. And we know Collinwood, they're always going to be a tough, scrappy team. And, I expect the same out of Scotts Hill, so we'll see how Collinwood fares on the road.
And quickly over our Alabama game of the week, we got a good rivalry, Wilson and Central. I know when I went over there and I was asking permission for us to stream a game, and I asked the guys at Wilson, I'm like, I couldn't remember what game we were coming for. I knew it was a Lauderdale County team, and their coach stopped me and goes, you have to come for the Central game. And I looked on my phone, I'm like, it is the Central game. So they're pretty pumped up about having a rival coming in, and we're pumped up to have another rivalry game on our air tonight.
Yeah, two 4A schools that don't like each other very much, but it's going to be a dandy out in Zip City. Those two teams, when you get them on the field, it's going to be a good one.
Central coming off a really good year ago, and Wilson is they're trying to find something, trying to find some momentum, and this would be a right way to do it.
Yeah, but what a better way to do it than against a team you don't like very much.
Absolutely. Well, that will do it for our Week 3 preview. Don't forget to check out the highlights going down tonight on the final score. So for Michael Marks, I'm AJ Good. Kickoff just a few minutes away. Don't forget to check out all the games tonight here on the X Sports Network.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.